try another problem. This problem says, Liz has 24 apples. She puts an equal number of apples into 4 bags. How many apples does she put into each bag? Okay, so we have to think to ourselves, do we have a total? Do we have our groups? Do we have our number in each group? So one of those is my unknown. So go back to your word problem. Let's see what we have. It says Liz has 24 apples. She puts an equal number of apples into 4 bags. How many apples does she put into each bag? Okay. What are your groups? Excellent. Your groups are your bags. Okay. So what would go into the bags? That's right, the apples. It says she puts an equal number of apples. So the apples represent the number in each bag. So let's set up our word problem structure so we can see it a little better. There is our total line. I'm going to draw my rectangle that represents my groups. And again, we said we had 4 bags, which would be our groups. So we're going to divide our rectangle into 4 groups representing the bags. Now let's go back to our word problem and see what we can fill in where. So I have my number of groups, 4 bags, because I drew 4 rectangles to represent my 4 bags. Now it says Liz has 24 apples. So 24 apples that she puts an equal number of apples into 4 bags. So 24 apples has to be our total. So 24 will go up in our total line because that's how many apples she had to start. And it tells us she put an equal number of apples into 4 bags. So I have my 4 bags, my 4 groups, represented by the rectangle cut into 4 sections. Now, I'm trying to figure out how many she put into each. So that is my unknown. These are my groups. So I have my groups, which are the bags of apples. I already have my product. I have my total because it gave me the 24 apples to start. So the unknown is the number in each group. That is my unknown in this problem. I do not know how many she put into each group. So this is a number in each group unknown problem because it gave me my total and it told me how many groups. So I had to figure out how many go in each group. So the way that I can solve this is I'm going to look at the number of groups I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So I'm going to begin by skip counting by 4. So let's skip count by 4. Okay, I'll stop there. The reason that I'm skip counting by 4 is because I know that I have 4 groups and I want to put an equal number into each bag. So starting with what I had, 4 groups, I can now count and stop when I get to 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that tells me that Liz put 6 apples into each bag. I can also solve this problem by seeing it as 24 divided by the number of groups, the number of bags. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. So 24 divided by 4 equals 6. My number in each group was 6. 2 ways to solve. You could either divide your total by the number of groups, or I could have skip counted by the number of groups until I got to the total. So now we have to figure out our situation equation and our solution equation. Now, our solution equation is how we solved it. That's the easy one. Solution, think, solve. Situation, of course, is the blank groups of blank equals blank. Okay, so let's look at the situation equation first. Did we know our number of groups? Yes, we did. We had 4 groups of, we didn't know how many were in each group, so that was my question mark, equals the 24. So my situation equation was 4 times question mark equal 24. The solution equation is how we solved it, and we solved it by doing division. 24 divided by 4, the 4 groups gave us 6 in each group. But since it's an equation, I have to have my question mark at the end. So now all we have left is to answer in a complete sentence. So Liz, the sentence said, how many apples does she put into each bag? So we will use what we have from our problem. Liz puts 6 apples in each bag. Okay, let's try another one. Kimberly bought 4 packages of pencils. There were 12 pencils in each package. She placed an equal number of pencils onto 6 desks. How many pencils were on each desk? Okay, students, so as I was reading it, remember we're always creating our mind movie. We saw Kimberly. She had a package of pencils. There was 12 in each package. But then what did she do? That's right, she placed an equal number of pencils onto 6 desks. So in my mind movie, Kimberly did 2 things. She had some pencils. I could see her packages and how many were in each package. Then she put them on desks. So this type of problem is called a multi-step problem because she did 2 things. My mind movie, I saw her doing more than one thing. So I know that it's going to be a multi-step problem. So let's take a look at our problem. Kimberly bought 4 packages of pencils. There were 12 pencils in each package. Okay, I'm going to stop there because that's my first part of my mind movie. It's her with her pencils. Because the second part of my mind movie talks about her placing an equal number of pencils onto 6 desks. So I'm going to take it one step at a time. Let's do the first step. Kimberly bought 4 packages of pencils. Okay, so my packages, would that be considered my groups or the number in each group? Good. Packages would be my groups because it's the big thing. 12 would be the number in each group. Okay, so let's set the first problem up. I have 4 packages of pencils. So I need to divide my rectangle into 4 groups showing my packages. There were 12 in each. So I'm going to put 12 in each. So here I was looking for the total. The total is unknown in the first part of my word problem. Total unknown. So now I can show it as 4 groups of 12 because that's what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 12, which is the same as 4 times 12 equals, well, that's what we're trying to figure out. What is 4 times 12? So I could skip count by 12 4 times, or I can multiply 12 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Then 4 times 1 is 4. So my answer is 48. There's a total of 48 pencils in all 4 of her packages. So now I know that Kimberly has a total of 48 pencils. So this 48 pencils I'm going to use in my next word problem. So let's continue. Go back to our question. It says she placed an equal number of pencils onto 6 desks. So the desks would be the groups. So let's draw a new strip diagram showing the total that we now have as 48. So 48 pencils, and she put them onto 6 desks. Since this is a multi-step problem, I knew that I was going to use the information I got from the first part of the question, the 48 pencils, the total unknown, in the second part of this problem. And here I show 48 pencils, which was the total number of pencils, placed on 6 desks. So the 6 desks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, show the groups. Now I have to figure out how many pencils she put onto each desk. So now I have 2 ways to solve. I can count by 6s until I get to the 48 pencils, or I could divide the total that I have, the 48 divided by the 6 desks. Showing it by my skip counting, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 48 divided by 6 is 8. So Kimberly placed 8 pencils on each of the 6 desks. Now, I just want to go back and make sure that we've labeled everything. These were our groups, and our groups represented the number of desks. The number inside is the number in each group. And for this problem, that was our unknown. The number in each group was unknown. We figured it out by taking the total that we got from the first problem that we solved and dividing it by the 6 desks. Gave us 8 pencils on each desk. So now all we have to do is answer in a complete sentence. Kimberly placed 8 pencils on each desk. So students, all you need to do is remember when you're reading a word problem, you have to figure out what is your group. What is the group? Are they the bags? Or the vases? Or the classrooms? You have to find your groups first. Then you can see if you are looking for the number in each. And we know that the number in each group would be unknown if it gives us the total. If it doesn't give us the total, then it's the total unknown that we're searching for. So our biggest step is identifying our groups. Because once we identify our groups, we're able to draw out our word problem structure for multiplication or division. Okay guys, it's your turn now. Students, go have some math fun.